poppin', everybody? Welcome to Culture Pop Season 1, Episode 17. I'm here with the man, the legend, Dolan.
Hey, Josh. Thanks. Yeah, it's glad to be here. Long-term
Hey,
listener.
Josh. How are you, sir?
Hey, Josh.
I was gonna come in with Drew, and then I was like, no, it says Dolan. Dolan. Gets me every freaking time.
No, you're not the only one. Like, there's so many people at the warehouse and everything. I'm like, I don't care what you call me. It's like I'll respond to both. But
My name's Drew. I'm special. I've got a rider name. How are you, brother?
doing all right. Yeah, hanging in there. Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry I couldn't make it last week. As
Okay.
I sent you guys photos, we went to go see the movie Demons
Yes.
in theater, and the band Goblin was performing live during the movie. So that was epic.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, it worked out that you couldn't make it last week because my internet was crapping out last week and I was still coming off getting sick. So it was like a lot kind of compiling onto one that I was like, this is a sign. This is a sign. But we are back this week. Aaron is not with us at the moment. He might be popping in later. We will wait to see. So he always tends to pop in at the most opportune moment. So we're going to mention something and then like, by some form of beard magic, he's just gonna appear. But
like Gandalf, he disappears. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I think this is the second time that I think third time that we're having you on now to wrap up the month so we can discuss comics. So of course, that is what we have you here to do this week. We're going to be looking back at the top 5 comics of September, and we'll be discussing them. We have a few other things to discuss as well. However, I do want to kick things off because Drew, you're writing a little book, I believe, right? A little comic book.
Yeah, one of the little funny books.
One of those little funny books.
Yeah, like a Ziggy or like a Family Circus. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh crap! I'm the asshole that I'm doing your plug, and then I haven't even added the things to the stream yet. Carry on. Have a nice little talk.
So yeah, I'm the writer for Unholy Nightmare, and Aurelio Mazzara is the artist for the series. We're both the co-creators. We are launching this Kickstarter comic on Halloween night. So as I pitched it before, it's 90s image comics mixed with 80s indie horror and Lovecraftian lore. And you're not going to want to miss out on this, guys. It's going to be action packed. It's going to have a lot of violence, a lot of action, a lot of drama, romance. It's going to have everything in it. You guys are not going to want to miss out. Every time I've shown some of these pages, the covers to people, they get psyched for it, and it really gets me amped for it. I really hope that you guys are there on Halloween night for when we launch.
All right, I'm a total asshole because I am having no luck pulling these up. Yeah, Drew sent me pictures, and then I saved them, and then did not load them into the stream before starting. So that is my bad. I will make sure we circle back at the end of the stream to show. We'll sandwich this. We're gonna have a little Drew comic creation sandwich going on. That's what we're gonna do. That way I can get these in here. Because I'm an asshole and I'm like, hey Drew, why don't you talk about the comic that I didn't save the freaking pictures for? Because that's what kind of friend and host I am. So suck it, professionals.
I was just going to blame technology for this. I was just going to.
That would have been the smart route. Apparently, I am not smart. Before we start jumping into our top comics for the month, I do want to go ahead and run through some of the comments and say hello to some people. Of course, we have Daddy Zax. Zax, how are you, sir? It's nice to see you. I'm going to be on Zax's channel tomorrow night. What's Good Wednesday? So make sure you guys go tune into that. We got some fun conversations, and it actually is my birthday tomorrow. So Zax may or may not pop out of a cake, and he may or may not be in a tank top and or shirtless. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there in the world. Okay, we're gonna run with it. Classy. We've got Mark McGrath in the house. What's up, bigots? What's up, Senor Mark McGrath? I'm sorry Max isn't here, so you can say who's down with MVP. Maybe that little nerd will show up in the comments before we end the stream, so you can do your rally cry. Nerd, go back to school. We have Mrs. Sassy Sasquatch. Hey. Miss Sasquatch. She's Mr. C. What's my sausage and pep? She's got a Sunday stream. You guys should definitely check it out. I always call it church. She takes us to societal church, I guess. She talks about everything that's going on in society that just has to make you want the asteroid to just come and just come take us away. We've got
it didn't used to be as frequently anymore, but now it's like almost like every 6 hours I'm asking.
Oh man, constantly. I'm literally like seeing things and I'm like, I want to be shocked, but I'm not. Like, what does the world come to? Why am I asking myself this anymore? It doesn't matter. Hey, so Drew, Zach said he missed that. Who was playing live?
Oh yeah, so my brother and I. So we went to go see the movie Demons, the Italian splatter movie Demons, in the Franklin Aircraft Theater in Indiana. But the band Goblin was performing. Now, if you're not familiar with the band Goblin, it was originally headed by Dario Argento, who's also a filmmaker, but he did the music for Dawn of the Dead, Opera, Demons, Suspiria, all these classic horror films. Their band did the music for it. And the last living original member is now on tour throughout the whole United States. He's doing a show a day in a different city.
That's crazy.
This guy's in the 70s. It's intense. And we had a blast. I had a blast. It was one of those like once in a lifetime concerts. Performing the music live during the movie, that's one of the best experiences you'll ever have during a film if you love it. And I will recommend it. Look at the tour schedule for Goblin when they're showing the movie Demons. Do check it out. You're gonna have a blast. Oh, Josh, I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I after I started talking, you said it. I looked over and I had like a little notification being like, "Oh, your internet's going down. We've muted you." Assholes. It's Russia out to get me. That's what it is. What I was saying was, hello, Nadia. I like it when you call me Big Papa. Yeah, so Nadia also has multiple shows. So you need to go check out her channel because she's awesome. Max can attest. Max had some personal hangout time with Nadia and her husband and got some free Warhammer comics when they went to go visit a comic shop. So a little jelly, just a little bit. Drew. Mark McGrath, top 5 comics of September. That should be easy. Wonder Woman, Hawkgirl, Fire and Ice in Smallville, Gotham War, and Power Girl. Done.
Damn
right?
It.
Right?
How did he know? How the hell did he know?
I guess it's just it is what it is.
Man, wow. He read me like a cheap hustler. He knew it.
The incredible Jadzia Axelrod says, I shouldn't have to explain my art to you. Because art. Yeah. We've also got Yorub Army. Zach's popping out of the cake like a girl from Under Siege. Word.
I'll take the girl, but I don't know if I want to see Zach popping out of that cake.
Yeah, I think there's only a small select few of us that would want to see that. So
yeah,
we've got Ivan
Dierico. Yes.
Oh yes. We've got Ivan Sanchez in the house. Hey guys, hope you're doing well and happy early birthday to you. Cake. Heck yeah, brother. Thank you so much. Max, it's our very own birthday boy. Guys, you know what Max did for me for my birthday?
And I am, shame on me. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. You're good. I plan on not doing anything tomorrow and being a bum and maybe reading. And I didn't even ask to have the day off from work. I got it off just out of circumstance. So I was like, hell yeah. Party. But no, I wanted to point out what Max did for me. Max, for my birthday, was like, I want to do something considerate for Josh. So he picked up a brand new comic book that's coming out this week. It's a new book hitting the stands. I think it's called Sainted Love. It's a gay comic. It has a gay orgy in it or something. I really don't know. Something Classy. Like that. Yeah. but he really liked it, and he cannot wait to pick up the next couple of issues. So
yeah, it was just our text feed. It was just back and forth, and just how much he loved it, just how progressive it was, just how it's about time. He couldn't get enough full frontal from the comic. He didn't get enough.
Couldn't get enough full frontal. You know, he hit the threesome and it was like, I feel intrigued. The orgy came along and he's like, I'm sold. I don't know what's happening. I'm feeling tingles in my nether regions. So
Steve Orlando was the guy to do it. Who would have thought?
Steve Orlando was the guy to do it for Max. We would have never known. I'm just glad I'm getting to say all this and he's not here. So he can't come defend himself. Yeah, Zach said Goblin. That's what I thought you said. I love their version of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, love their music from Dawn of the Dead.
There we go. And of course, as Max appears, so does Mark with Who's Down with MVP? Yeah, you know me. And we have the Shepherd himself, Flaccid Phoenix, Don, bringing the Kinergy, sub-chatting K people. Although I don't see any sheep emojis, so that's sad. We've got Nadia shrimping for Max Von Priestley, and if you missed Max's Sunday build stream, not from 2 days ago, but the week prior, we were discovering different slang for gay people, and Max is apparently the ultimate otter. Fascinating. Yeah. So you'll have to go check that out to understand it because, yeah. Oh, hey, so he wants to know what happens to her. She was a cutie, or what happened to her. She was a cutie. I think the girl from the cake from, what was the movie we just said?
From Under Siege?
Yes.
She was in Under Siege and Baywatch, and the rest is history.
Fair. Rest is, I mean, do you really need more? You have Under Siege and then you have Baywatch. Do you really need more than that?
No. Oh, she was in The Blob too. I forgot about it. She was in The Blob, the Blob. 1980s remake.
The Blob. Why do I not remember The Blob? I'm immediately thinking of X-Men.
Okay. No, I'm thinking the horror classic, the perfect horror film from the 1980s, The Blob.
The Blob?
Hold on. With Kevin Dillon and had like the whole cast that what's his name did from The Walking Dead. Frank Darabont. He directed the movie, and he had like almost his whole cast from The Walking Dead was in the movie. You don't remember The Blob?
I don't think I remember The Blob.
Oh, dude, you need to fix yourself. You need to watch that tomorrow, man. You need seriously. You watch that tomorrow, you're gonna be like, holy crap! This is the perfect horror film. This is amazing.
I might squeeze that in. I've got to watch The Prophecy tomorrow to get ready for a stream next week that I'm doing.
Ooh, Christopher Walken, The Prophecy?
Yeah, that's right. That is correct. Yeah, let's see what else is going on. Max thankfully got a good laugh at us talking about him reading that smut of a book. Thanks. And then he said he did it for you. He did it for me. He did it for me. Zax is coming in with Josh is gay, but Flaccid is gay. And I think that is pretty much it. Something about cheeks is going on in the chat. I don't know what's happening, but we're talking about cheeks and smacking cheeks, and it's all a little too Nicki Minaj for me. But I do want to go ahead and get into our top 5 comics this week. So each month, Drew is kind enough. Well, Drew is awesome enough to pretty much read almost every comic that comes out every single month. To kind of let us know, steer clear, or you should check this out. So I asked him, was like, hey, I know doing like weekly top 10s is hard to do now. What about monthly? He agreed. It's the 3rd month in a row. We've got him here. I feel like I'm winning, but we're going to go ahead and start with our number 5 pick of the week. And it is Killmore number 1. So do you want to give us a little bit of info on this book and then why you like it?
Ooh, yeah, this one. So this one was nowhere on my radar. I was not expecting to pick this up at all. When you see a cover like this, a title like this, and it's IDW, you automatically jump to, oh, it's a Netflix pitch. Low stakes, whatever. But imagine my shock. So I'm reading it, and there's this very unique world that this team has crafted here, where there's this, you're led to believe that it's on Earth, but in the future. But there's this city that is pretty much people have left this city. People have fled this city, and the crime rate is astronomical. Yet at the same time, all these psychopathic murderers, serial killers, the worst of the worst, are making their way to the city because effectively there's law enforcement, but they're not doing anything about it. They can't really do anything. And the police department, the books, the murder rates are higher. They're trying to close the cases, but they really can't. And they've got one of the cops has a feeling like the things are getting worse. Like some of the people are going to be trying to come to the city. One of the cops leaves because he can't handle it anymore. But at the same time, the creative team have put little things in here where it's like you see these like rocket platforms, like SpaceX platforms with rockets, where people have there's lines of people that went to these rockets, but it looks like they didn't make it to the rockets. People tried to flee this city. I don't know. There's conversations of Mars that's brought up. Does this take place on Mars? Does this take place on Earth? I don't know. There's a lot of great questions here. And the pacing is a little off. I will admit that, but the mysteries and what the world that this team has created, it's very interesting, and I cannot wait to read the second issue.
Nice. Yeah, I will. I do want to back you up that I'm with you in a lot of these indie books when they come out. They just come across as Netflix pitches, and then they're not that good. I mean, there's really, it doesn't, a lot of times it feels like it's lacking something somewhere is missing, and it's kind of like it's lacking its energy or its heart. And I'll either find, a character compelling or the art really good, or maybe the story's okay, but the art sucks. Who knows? But this seems to have a good balance of, it looks good. It's got an intriguing story. It's rare that I pick up comics these days and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I want to read the next chapter. And that's not to say that there aren't good comics out there. There are plenty of decent and fine comics, and there are a few that are good, but on the scale of what's good versus bad, the bad greatly outweigh the good.
Oh, that's 100% true. Yeah. And just trying to, like you said, finding one that's good is, you may go fine with that, but trying to find one where you want to come back to the second chapter, that's even harder to find. It's very rare. And this is one of those rare books. And I actually reached out to the creative team. I told them this and like, hey, you guys got something special here. So nice. Hopefully they can keep it up.
Has Scott Bryan Wilson, is he known for writing anything else or no?
I looked up his name. I think he's done some stuff in the past, but I didn't really recognize them.
Yeah.
I think he's done some indie stuff, but he didn't really. Yeah.
I'm going to be that asshole too. Is it Max Allan Fuchs? That's
what I'm assuming Fuchs or yeah. like the character in the thing, Fuchs. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
I mean, I'm just gonna wait and see him at a con and be like, "What's up, Mr. Fox?" And see if he responds.
He turns around very slowly, pissed off.
So Nadia says Kilmore sounds like my jam. Nadia, I do think this might actually be right up your alley because she followed up with Serial Killers. Sold. Nadia.
The worst of the worst serial killers are making their way to this colony because there's effectively there's police, but they can't really do anything.
Right.
Which is great. I brought this up to Wes. That it's a great parallel, I think, really to what's going on with a lot of the cities today, like say Los Angeles, New York, Portland. People fleeing the major cities to just wanting to get away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, have you been to some of these cities lately? It's
I have. I'm going to one of those next week. So
New York Comic Con, right?
Yep.
Have fun with that. I'm gonna keep my precious little heart in Texas. I was gonna say Nadia loves horror stories, and she has a good recommendation. Someone needs to do a stream on spooky comics for the season. I might have to pull a little assembly together and get some people to do specifically this. I know next week I've got Joe and Breen on, and we're gonna talk the history of some comics. But after that, we shall see. We shall see.
So on that subject, Josh, so my comic Unholy Nightmare, which is a horror superhero comic, the first issue takes place in Gary, Indiana, outside of Chicago. Now,
Oh, nice.
if you're not familiar with Gary, Indiana, it is effectively a ghost town. It is a legit like Salem's Lot. I have driven through there several times during the day, at night. It's one of those fully built cities, but there's no one around, no one on the streets. There's no cars. I remember going up there one year with my coworker from at Comics Elite, Ernie. We're going through the town. We're like, where the fuck is everybody? There's no one out here on the road. It's like 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. Like, where is everybody?
Hell yeah.
So we just thought this would be a perfect spot, for a good horror story.
Nice. Speaking of your comic, I do have. Oh,
hey,
there we go. So you want to go ahead and talk about the art again? Since we got it up, we're on topic. We're talking about it. Horror. Give us another rundown now that people can look at it, and if you want to kind of explain some of the characters we see in each of these pages.
Yeah. So right here, this is our hero Recluse. He's the main character of the story. He is our Spider-Man, John Wick allegory in this, and this is in a moment where he full-on discovers, or not necessarily discovers, but it's unveiled to us that he will be morphing into a human spider. So we have these spider legs that have more or less, come out of him. His human arms are falling off, and these spider legs have come out, and he's just impaling a bunch of these drug dealers during a drug bust in a warehouse in Gary, Indiana.
I mean, sounds like a party to me. I do want to say one of my favorite things is we're in a text group. We've kind of talked about this before, but we're in a text group together. You, me, Max, your brother Kyle, and then Aaron. And you've been giving us like updates with pictures and covers and stuff. And there's one day that Drew sent us an earlier stage of this page and was like, check it out, full page. And then it was like an hour later, he's like, update, we're adding more blood. I was like, yes. And then we also have this page as well, which shows us some other characters. So give us a rundown of these guys and who they are.
Yeah, so in Unholy Nightmare, that one of the concepts is like we have heroes who are becoming monsters to fight other monsters, and one of the characters in this name is Jenny, and she's a Chicago undercover narcotics officer, and she turns into a wolf in this issue, and so she has a relationship with Recluse, and he didn't know she was a wolf. She doesn't know he was a spider, so they both unveil their monstrosities in this big kerfuffle in the warehouse. So she's taking on this cybernetic assassin who is working with the suppliers, more or less keeping them safe. And Aurelio wanted to put in this cybernetic assassin bodyguard to the comic. I'm like, I think I can work this in. And these two like go at it for like 2 or 3 pages.
Hell yeah.
Just several panels. Yeah, just tearing off limbs, he's stabbing her, like electrocuting her with like a torn off arm. This is gonna be awesome.
I'm down. It's gonna be nice to see an action comic with some action in it.
Just one page. Yeah.
is Jenny a black female by chance?
No, she's
okay.
I think we're gonna keep her like a kind of like an Italian. I think we're gonna keep her like Italian, maybe Eastern European. We're gonna get into her backstory more.
Awesome.
Her family lineage.
I'm asking, for Abomination AJ if he happens to tune in. He's going to be sold at Werewolf or Wolf Chick, Wolf Hybrid, whatever we want to call it. He's already going to be sold. We all know that. I just didn't know if we would go that extra mile and be a black female for Senor AJ. But you know what? She's probably not young enough for AJ. Inside joke. Kind of, if you watch Saturday night streams with Zax, Flaccid, and AJ, you know exactly what we're talking about. All righty, let's get this pulled back up. Nadia, her hometown. She is familiar with Gary.
There we go. Yeah, she knows what I'm talking about. Yeah.
She said one of her favorite book series also takes place in Chicago, NWI area, Dresden Files. I've never read that.
Yeah, I think it was a TV series on the Sci-Fi Channel at one point.
You know what? That does sound familiar now. I don't think I watched it, though, but I do remember hearing about it.
Yeah, I just remember thinking to myself, this sounds a lot like John Constantine. I don't know. I want to read a John Constantine knockoff.
Yeah. We do have Cajun Corey in the house. Hey, Josh, happy early birthday, sir. Happy early birthday to you. I know your birthday is Thursday, so enjoy. Go eat some crawfish. Is that what the plan is for you, sir?
Yum.
Mark McGrath said, like where monsters lie, only good. I'm also not familiar with where monsters lie. So
Neither am I.
Mark, you'll have to fill us in on that. Is it a book? Is it a movie? Should we watch it? We need to. Oh, Max. Oh, come on. Look, Max reads one gay comic, and now he knows all about all these different scenes. It's called furries, Josh. You know what, Max? Why don't you go lay on a sidewalk and take a fist? How about that, buddy?
I think he's a little more experienced in this than we thought.
I think he is. I think he's just like hiding, like, I'm just a nerd. I'm quiet little Marine over here. Clearly, it's the quiet ones you have to watch out for. They're always the like freaky, crazy ones.
Freaks. Oh yeah.
Freaks. Oh. Nadia says no. Don't watch the series. So are you telling us that it's so bad that it's good, or just go read the books? Because that's really all we need to concern ourselves with. It's awful and nothing like the... Okay, there we go. Yeah. AJ likes some young and... Allegedly. So Drew, the joke here is we were on a stream and AJ talked about having a crush on... what's her name? Hit Girl, the actress that played Hit Girl.
Oh, Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yes, and he is like, yeah, because we were talking about Hit Girl. He's like, yeah, I had a crush on her back in the day, and they were like, whoa,
yeah,
she's like 12 here. What are you doing? He's like, no. It wasn't this. It was something else. And I was 18. I'm like, you're digging that grave further. So,
yeah, because I mean, how old was she in that first Kick-Ass film? Like 12?
I do think she was like 12 or 13. She was young.
Jesus.
She kicked ass in that movie, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Corey's saying he lives in Tennessee. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you live in Tennessee. I mean, is not in season really a thing? We still catch those suckers and eat them around.
As soon as you said crawfish, I got hungry because I used to live down in a Fort Walton Beach area in Destin in Florida and up in the Panhandle. I was stationed at Eglin Air Force Base, and a couple of employees, civilians who worked on the base, they love cooking like crawfish, gumbo, and everything, and just it was amazing, just all home cooked, and yeah, just started salivating as soon as I saw crawfish.
I will never forget when I first moved to LA, and I can't remember where I was, but they had crawfish, and it wasn't great crawfish, but it was crawfish, and I hadn't had it in a few years, so I was excited. But I just remember the look on people's faces as I'm like going Bubba mode on these suckers, ripping them apart, eating it. And then like the looks I got when I sucked the brains out, people were like, this guy's a degenerate. Like, what is this person he is clearly not from Los Angeles.
Yes.
That's right.
Why is he not eating a salad? What is going on?
Yeah. Why is he? Are those carbs on his plate? Ugh.
That
yes.
animal?
No, is that an animal? What kind of bug is that?
Yeah.
Naughty is reaffirming that the TV show is bad. It's so bad. So also, she wants to let us know Max is no angel. He just plays one on TV. I mean, that makes sense. Max is he plays one on TV, not YouTube, but TV.
But actually, actual television.
Actual television. See, Max has a life that we don't know about. So we got to dig a little deeper. Chloe was 14 in the werewolf movie he was talking about. Oh, that's right. I think it was the vampire movie. I think it was the vampire. Maybe we're getting all of our movies mixed up. But he was only 18. So that's a crime. Yeah. And that was the best part is he's like, no. It wasn't a crime. It wasn't a crime. I was only 18. And we're like, yeah, just he's like, no, it's not like that. I'm like, yeah, just buddy, keep talking, keep digging that grave.
Keep digging yourself in just a little bit more.
Yeah. Corey says his TV name is MV Penis. I mean, it is true.
Oh,
it is true.
That's true.
I don't think he's ever going to live that down. And the way that started with the MV Penis, like it wasn't supposed to be penis, but MVP Ness turned into MV Penis. And it's sticking forever. You're welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get to your number 4 pick for September, the Enfield Gang Massacre #2.
Yeah, so this one is very much so another. I'm a cinephile, and Max will tell you
Same.
this. I love westerns. I love old spaghetti westerns from the '70s, and this comic book series has a good spaghetti western feel to it, where you have this town effectively trying to keep themselves safe from the bad guys, just trying to fight off the bad guys. But are they the bad guys? We don't know. We're gonna find out. But it is bloody. It's graphic. There's shootouts. I love it. You know, it's got everything you want in like a good Italian Western, and I could not recommend this more. Like, and apparently, my brother Kyle, his one complaint to this was that it reminded him too much of what is that? Get Red Dead Redemption? I think is what he
Yeah,
said.
I think
You see,
that's
like,
what
the
he was saying.
opening 2 pages or whatever. You see the gun at him, like he's like, "This Red Dead Redemption." I'm like, I have no clue what that is. What is that? And it was a video game, so there is that. But if you look past those couple pages, yeah, there's an actual story here, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I've been kind of hyping up a book called That Texas Blood for a while now since it came out. So I guess 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. And this is kind of like a spin-off prequel type in the same world coming forward. I've just been really impressed with Chris Condon and what he brings to the table. I like that he's not afraid to take risks. I like that he's not afraid to have some gore and some action, and just a lot of grit in his books. And I mean, like, look, even in this page and panel that you're seeing here, what you don't see is, I think the panel above, you just see Blam, and it's I think the sheriff or someone shooting, and the panel below the two, he shot the guy on the left, and you just see that this other guy's been splattered with the blood. So they're not afraid to.
Face. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can see the dialogue that there's a warning shot. Welcome to Texas. But yeah, I'm also a huge fan of this book. I think this is one of those instances where I love it as a comic, and if it ever gets made into like a film or a miniseries, as long as they stay true to it, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to have that gritty, dirty, nasty, grimy, like I said, Italian Western, spaghetti Western feel to it. It's got to have that dirty, grimy, lived in look. It can't be clean. And that's one thing that would piss me off if they did that for this.
Oh yeah, if you tried to make it too slick or too Hollywood, it wouldn't work. You're gonna need.
Yeah, and speaking of that, while we're on the subject of that, so I also love horror films, but there's the movie Thanksgiving. That's the horror film that's coming out on around Thanksgiving this year, and it was originally a trailer during the Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez Grindhouse feature.
Oh, yep,
and,
yep.
Yeah. And when you watch that trailer for the film, it had a very, like a dirty, grimy grindhouse look to it when you're watching it. Like, this looks like a cheesy, sleazy 80s slasher. But when you watch the new trailer for this new film that they're doing for Thanksgiving, everything just looks clean, pristine, fine, like current day. I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't that dirty, grimy grindhouse, dirty 80s horror slasher I was hoping to look for. But hopefully it's good.
I mean, it'll probably be so bad that it's good, but
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. It's Eli Roth. It's got to be so bad it's good. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm super hit or miss with Eli Roth. There's times that I appreciate what he does, and there's times where I'm like, God, that was so fucking stupid.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I like the first Cabin in the Woods. Was it Cabin Fever? First Cabin Fever. Good.
Yes. I enjoyed Cabin Fever, but I'm not gonna lie. At the end, when the little kid jumps off the porch and starts doing karate and yelling pancakes, I was like, "What the fuck? Like, are we?" That just fucking ruined this for me. So,
yeah, but yeah, like I said, he's very hit or miss. I did like the Green Inferno. That was good, and but he did that knock or whatever with Keanu Reeves. I hated that. And, But yeah, hopefully this one is good. He did the Death Wish remake, which he should not have done with Bruce Willis. And but yeah, hopefully this is good.
Absolutely. I think we're selling Nadia again. Bloody Western sold. Look, Nadia, there's trades of That Texas Blood. Go pick it up. We're only 2 issues in with the Enfield Gang Massacre. Go catch up. You will not be disappointed. You can thank us later. You're welcome. And then Corey, Red Dead Redemption is a fantastic Wild West video game. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I just haven't played it. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I know people
I'm not a
love
video
it.
game guy. Yeah, so
I'm not. Look, I've got way too much going on. So between
Yes.
work, which my schedule is way better than it used to be, but I've got work. I've got this show that I'm still building and growing, or this channel, I should say, that I'm building and growing. I've got the stuff I'm doing with other streamers, and then I've got my own writing stuff on the side that I'm trying to kind of build back up and get in that world. If I got a gaming system, none of this stuff would be happening because I'm too competitive, and I'd want to come in and just play the damn game to beat it. I also wouldn't be sleeping, so we're gonna leave it at that. Max is coming in with my official name is Max.
Ooh.
Max XXX. He's got that heat coming. And Corey wanted to let us know he had Max sign a poster, MV Penis at the Dallas meetup. I mean, did he draw a penis on the poster? That's what I want to know. I'm
Was
just
Max
curious.
illustrated as a penis with a ball cap? I don't.
Was it Max illustrated as a penis with a ball? Who knows? Corey, you're gonna have to post that on. Look, only if Max is on it as a penis or there is a penis. Post it on Twitter. If it's just a signature, then I mean, I guess you could use it as toilet paper. Why not? Speaking of MV Penis, we have MV Penis in the house. Hello, help you. Why are we helping MV Penis? What do you need help with, MV Penis? Let us know. Let us know. Let's see what else is being said. Oh, Nadia's Grindhouse.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that
the name
means
of the
she's a
movie.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that it was a 2-part movie, correct? Or it was something else and Grindhouse?
Well, Grindhouse, it was 2 features. It was Death Proof and Zombie Terror or whatever it was. It was like the zombie movie that Robert Rodriguez did. Because
Yep.
Quentin Tarantino did the stunt car Bob, whatever he's taking out like the 20-year-old girls on the car. I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't great.
Yeah, I remember watching it. It was back when it first came out. I remember Home Chick with her leg gun, right?
Yeah,
that was Grindhouse.
yeah,
Yeah.
Planet Terror. That was the one. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like I tried rewatching them. I'm like, God, these are just bad, and I just can't do it. I just can't.
It seems like Nadia shares her sentiment with Eli Roth. Eli Roth, I agree. And then yes, Ivan Sanchez. That was bad. The whole Pancake Kid was annoying. Agreed. It ruined the freaking movie. I do remember it coming out and me thinking like, oh wow, I wonder if this is going to be a big break for Sean from Boy Meets World because he's doing something edgy.
Nope.
Nope, not at all. Didn't happen. Let's see here. Yeah, there's lots of great games to play. It's very time consuming. Yeah, again, I don't have the time. But maybe someday when I retire, I'll go back and be like, when I was a kid, and play some games. And Max can neither confirm nor deny what his signature is, or if he's a penis with a cap on the thing that he signed for Corey. So there we go.
Mystery remains.
2 people are saying Planet Terror. Oh, yes, the name of the movie. Cool. Gotcha. Yeah, I think I tried to forget. It wasn't my cup of tea. So
Drew. I love zombie movies, and I hated that film. I just did not like it. And then I discovered afterwards, like the making of it, just how Bruce Willis was not on set with everyone else. Like he filmed all of his scenes separately from everyone else.
Oh wow.
And yeah, no, I'm done.
Ivan Sanchez says, love Planet Terror. I consider it as my non-Resident Evil movie. I mean, it feels more Resident Evil than the official ones.
I could see that.
Fair.
I could see that. But as a good zombie movie, no, it does not work for me.
Same. Drew, are you ready for number 3?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Number 3 is Conan the Barbarian. Number 2.
Yeah, this is one of those series right now where I'm not going to talk about the plot, But if you're not reading this, I'm just gonna say, what is wrong with you? Fix yourself. You need to go read Conan right now. This is Jim Zub at his best, and this artist, Robert De La Torre, he is amazing. He's got that great Silver Age spark about his art, and I said it to Wes the other day. I want to see an oversized black and white edition of this collection. I can't begin to imagine what his pencils and inks look like, because they got to be beautiful.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah, honestly, if you love Conan, or if you don't know anything about Conan, this is a great jumping on point for Conan. These first 2 issues, you're gonna have a blast reading it, and it's just pretty much Conan and this woman trying to survive fighting an undead horde, and they're following the undead horde. He may or may not have sex with this hot broad. Let's see what happens.
What? Sex in a comic book? Ooh.
Yeah. Who'd have thought?
Who would have thought? So I'll admit, I'm one of those people that, as far as comics go, I'm not overly familiar with Conan comics. And then picking this up, reading this so far, at this point, issue 3 is also out. But for me, it is such a good book that I want to go back and read previous Conan comics, and they're actually pulling together collections from previous runs to send out. So definitely looking forward to that. Just want to check it out. And yes, I completely agree. The art is fantastic. It's got that Silver Age kind of feel to it while also still feeling modern. But it's so nice to see real pencils with real cross hatches, real actual like texture there, and not that just kind of flat. I don't want to say lifeless, because there's plenty of digital artists that I think are really good, but this just it's so nice to see actual pencils. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and like you said, not to knock it, but when I compare his art for this to, say, one of the X-Men artists or whatever, I can automatically tell, oh, that's all digital. That's all. There's no life in that. There's no energy in that. With this, I see all that. I get all that. I get the. I see the time he took. I see the energy. And I see the dedication in this art, that he cares. I see the care in these pages, that he loves what he's doing. Whereas those X-Men pages, I don't see that. I just see it as another page. And I really recommend everyone do check this out. Please do. And like you said, they are going to be Titan books. They're going to be collecting the old stuff, the old Savage Sword of Conan and original Conan comics. Please do check those out. They're amazing, especially those black and whites from Savage Sword. I got to tip. Also got to tip my cap to the editorial team on this too, because they're putting together a beautiful piece of art. And I often wonder what Jim Zub's original scripts looked like, how much editing was involved, if any. But and as well as the art direction, but they're putting together a masterpiece here, and this is how you do a comic book. This is top-notch quality.
Since you mentioned the editorial team, I do kind of want to follow that up with, this is what happens when you have a team of people and a team of creators who all care about what they're doing, and they're actively trying to deliver the best work that they can. And I cannot remember. Well, I'm saying I cannot remember. It's been years since I feel like a comic book has actually delivered that.
Yeah, especially with Conan. I mean, granted, there were the first couple that Jason Aaron had done several years ago. They were good, but nothing came close to what they should have been. And this is the first time since I take that back. The Ablaze comics that were kind of like adaptations of the stories. They came out last year or so. Those were really damn good. But as far as original stories go, this is right up there. This is how it's done.
Absolutely. And we do have Eric Breen in the house. Eric Breen will be here next week with Joe Corallo. We're going to be talking about some pre-crisis Batman. I'm looking forward to it. But Eric said 70s Conan from Roy Thomas is the best Code approves Conan comics. Yes.
Oh, Roy Thomas, Barry Windsor Smith. Enough said.
Oh, just got here. So it's my birthday tomorrow, Breen. I'm hitting that 35 milestone, that 35. So, I'm sure I'm going to wake up with a sore back and a wonky knee. But don't worry. I planned in advance. I bought prune juice, so everything is good. We do have Vex Electronica in the house. Are we smashing Josh for his birthday? Is that what the contract signed by voting in the poll? In that poll, yeah. If you didn't see, there's a poll here where I ask you to like the smash button. One option is yes, I'll do it for you. The other option is that's not the only thing I'm smashing. Oh, hey, I see what you got there, and I might like it. Just don't let Max. Please don't let Max see the poll. I'm a little terrified after the comic he was so excited to share with us today.
A little too excited.
A little too excited. I'm just, it just keeps coming back to me. Martin McGrath says, looks like a new art team, at least temporarily after 4. Ooh, maybe it's just temporarily. Maybe they'll kind of hit like I guess a breaking point or a pause point that makes sense. But look, if you look just at this one panel, part of this page, if you look at the detail that's gone into this, I completely understand why you would need a backup team to come in. I just hope they get to share or complete part of an arc, or at least an arc for.
And not just that, but hopefully, I think you'll agree with me on this, is that hopefully it's an art team that's not jarring, that it flows with the original art team. It's not like, say, going from Marco Trucchetto to Riley Rossmo, it's like, hopefully it's not that crazy drastic.
Yeah. Riley Rossmo is known for having really crazy stuff now, but when he's doing his more kind of house style, which I think looks way better than his Riley Rossmo art, I definitely you can see it, because I do think Riley Rossmo can do horror very well, and then he always chooses to do these weird, like, thin, bobbleheady, big-eyed.
Everyone looks like an alien. Yeah.
Yes. I'm filming then, Josh. When are you filming, Zex? What are we filming? What's happening? We're filming the Smash. I don't know if that's allowed. We might have to find somewhere other than the YouTubes for that. But yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Why are you asking? Why are you asking, Corey? Why are you one of those? Are you one of those? What's your astrological sign, chicks? And then you're like, when were you born? I need your rising, your moon, and whatever the fuck the other one is. If you're ever on a dating app and someone asks for your sign and then they ask for your birthday and what time you were born, run. Just run.
In that, and look, honestly, I'll say I'm a religious guy, but when you're talking to a woman, or I'm not sure if it's like this with other guys, but like talking to a woman, if they're asking you how frequently you go to church, physically, how frequently you go, it's like, okay, there's a problem here. Okay.
Yeah, slightly. All right, we've got she's filming me getting smashed and making her debut in the homo corn scene. Okay, well, welcome to the corn scene. Oh God, if there's ever been any form of debauchery in my streams, this is the one. I think I usually try to save that for other people's streams, but here we go. Mark said Doug Braithwaite.
Oh, you see the artist picking up afterwards?
I think so.
Okay, he's got that. I could see he's got that style. He's got that heavy line style. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
And Corey's saying he just wants to know how many hours older I am. Sure, Corey. Sure. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'll try to see if I can figure it out. Yeah. Zax, I am done with y'all. Tomorrow on Zax's stream is gonna be an absolute shit show. So but yes, Conan the Barbarian, go pick it up. It's excellent. It's great. I agree with Drew. If you're looking for an introduction to Conan, this is a good introduction. And as I stated, reading this comic has made me want to go pick up the classic comics and really kind of explore them. And it's not that I'm not familiar with Conan. I am. I just never read the comics. But I'm enjoying this. And anytime you read something and think, man, I wish we could get more of that. That's always a good kind of telltale sign that it's quality.
Yeah, especially like I said, back to the editorial team. Like we have Jim Zub writing it, and Jim Zub, he's very, very hit or miss. You never know what you're going to get.
Agreed.
With him. Agreed. With this, he has to have a damn good editor keeping him on point. with how he turns in his scripts. So I got to give the editor, all the props as well.
Absolutely. On to the next comic. I believe we're on to number 2 for the month of September. We have The Sacrificers, number 2.
Whoo, boy. So I
Ooh, boy.
literally just read The Sacrificers number 3 last night, and yeah, we get the twist, the Shyamalan twist. But with this, it's leading up to that. We get these different individuals from different communities who are being taken to this destination to ultimately be sacrificed.
Mhm.
And I'm just going back and going through my notes of issue 2 and like all the theories that I had, and it's like, well, these were wrong. But they're ultimately but at the same time, it's weird because they know they're being sacrificed, but they're being treated like they're not necessarily gods, but like, yes, thank you. They're treated like they're rock stars at the same time. And but in issue 2, I'm bringing this up because it's you see it in issue 3, but how do the gods see these individuals being sacrificed? Do these gods like these individuals? Do they think highly of these individuals? You got to read to find out. But and what are these sacrifices for? We will find out in issue 3. But there's a lot of great stuff here. A lot of great characters in this too, as well as the Birdman, the Bird Boy in this. You see right there in the top panel. He is the heart of this comic, and you really see more. You see a lot of it in this issue and the 3rd issue, because he's literally a kid. He is trying to have fun, trying to enjoy this, but there is a dark twist along the way.
Nice. I'm admittedly behind in this. I was behind in starting this because I had saw it and I was just like, I don't. And I'm saying this for a reason. I saw this and kind of flipped through the pages and was like, I don't know if this is for me. And I didn't pick it up the week that it debuted with number 1. And then I saw you and a lot of other people praising the hell out of it. So I went and picked it up, and I was still kind of like lagging on reading it. Finally read the first issue and loved it. I need to read the second issue. Clearly the 3rd issue is coming out. But for anyone that picks this up and they look at it and they're like, I don't know if this is for me, what would be your selling point to be like, don't judge a book by its cover based on the art and the characters? And like, if someone's looking at this going like, yo, bird people, and I'm looking at this like bug, amoeba, dragon looking thing, no, man, I'm gonna nope out.
Well, I would say it is very different from everything else you're going to read, and that, yes, you do have these unique characters, and not just that, but they're all characters. Each one has their own different motivations. They all have their own different backgrounds. They all have their own different voices. They're not caricatures, how I often call the Marvel DC characters, just who are caricatures now. But they are unique characters, and you care for these people. You want to know what's going to happen to these people. Are they going to make it through? I hope they do, especially the Bird Boy. I hope he does. But spoiler alert, in issue 3, some don't make it through. But it is so damn good. It just, you really, Rick Remender has set up this interesting world here where you have these gods who have been living for who knows how long, but you're led to believe that through these sacrifices they have been able to survive. But what did the gods think of these people being sacrificed? That's all I'm going to say. And it is a very unique world here with very unique different worlds and characters he's created. If you want something different, please do check this out.
Agreed. Speaking of a certain someone, Abomination AJ is here. He said, I got this on Free Comic Book Day and I still haven't read it. Then read it. Read it, you homo. Speaking of homos, he's like, gay ass polls. Yeah. We expect nothing less. By the way, AJ, if you're just now tuning in, you need to, I don't know if anyone timestamped it, but there's a portion of this stream that is 100% dedicated to you. So you need to go find it. We also have John Porton in the house. He said Cyberprog is way better.
Well, look, these are Two different stories.
Yeah.
Two completely different stories. You can't compare the two.
Yeah, I'm look. I'm not a Cyberfrog hater, and I'm not a EVS hater. I think the guy does, really solid work. But yeah, two completely different stories, two completely different tones. And I do tend to be more of a character-driven type person. So me and my inclinations, I am more drawn to what the Sacrificers is bringing to the table. But again, neither one of them are bad. They're both entertaining. They're both good in their own respects, but they are completely different.
Yeah, 100% correct. Yeah, you cannot compare the two.
Agreed. Are we ready for number one? Are we ready for number one? I wonder if anyone has an idea. Does anyone? I wonder if anyone has a guess for what number one is, or maybe who would have written number one. I mean, I think it's a nobody in the comic industry. I don't know if he's
Franklin. I don't know.
T. Franklin is a national treasure. I mean, she is what is it? Black, bisexual. What are her qualities? Handicapped, sex positive sex worker.
She's that unicorn. Yeah.
That's right. No, she's not a unicorn. She is, what is it called when you have the patchy skin? Oh shoot. Where like part of your skin is like light colored. Like if you're a black person, it's what Michael Jackson supposedly had.
Oh, vitiligo.
Yes, vitiligo. She is a vitiligo My Little Pony.
Honestly, you just reminded me of one of my favorite shows of all time, The Boondocks, and the character's name was Uncle Ruckus. He'd often say like, I got the reverse vitiligo. I got the opposite of Michael Jackson. The older I get, the darker I get.
Oh my God. Since we're real quick side note, since we're on skin colors and things, Abomination AJ had never seen Clerks 2, and I sent him a clip of it the other day. And I don't know if he's watched it yet, but he thought the clip was freaking hilarious. And it was the when they're in the restaurant or the fast food place talking about what slang or bad terminology is for black people. I don't know if you remember that clip. But I'm glad that when I sent it to him, he did think it was funny, because it is, you can't do movies like that anymore, and they're so freaking funny.
Yeah, so that wasn't too long ago either. That was about 15 years ago, and you couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that I see now that I'm like, damn, that was like 15 years ago, or damn, that was 20 years ago. And it's not that long ago, but at the same time, I remember when those movies came out. If you told me something was 20 years ago, I'd be like, that's fucking old. So,
yeah. I remember, I still think like Back to the Future was 20 years ago. And it's like, oh, nope, not exactly.
Ivan Sanchez says he does like the action figures of Cyberfrog. You got the action figure, didn't you? Or was that Kyle?
I've got 4. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got like 6 of them. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Drew definitely feels you there with the action figures.
Yeah,
and Mark McGrath is coming in with our pick for number one, and he is correct. Big game.
Correct.
Is this the Billy Madison moment where you have Chris Farley?
Spanish Armada, 1588. Yeah, that is correct.
I might have to watch that movie tomorrow.
That never gets old. That
never.
if you want to legit laugh, Billy Madison will cure it. Yes, they'll
absolutely. Also, if you're just now tuning in to this stream and you've only caught the last 3 minutes, I promise we're not high. We just have ADD. Okay. Drew, why don't you go ahead and walk us through big game number 3?
Yeah, a big game number 3. So this just the chaos, the madness, the bloodbath, it just continues in this issue. And we open up with the character Huck, who is from the series Huck that came out, I think, roughly about 15 years ago. We haven't really seen him since.
Yep.
And he gets swiftly taken out, along with many other characters that Mark Miller has created. And but at the same time, we also transition back to Kick-Ass, and we
Mhm.
see more about his role in modern day, like what he's pretty much he's a married guy right now. He's a middle-aged, not really middle-aged, but in his latter 30s, and he's married and just has a very average, predictable life. And but there's this call to action, and he feels like this is my call, and he tells his wife, "This is I got to do this," and she's scared for him, but he's like, "Hey, I know, but I've got to go. This is my calling." And he's taking the heroic charge. That's what he's a hero. He's making the sacrifice.
Yeah.
But we also get back to Hit Girl toward the end, and she winds up in a facility that was occupied by the Chrononauts, or as Richard Meyer called them, the Time Bros. And she discovers a means to travel back through time, and she winds up somewhere in the past. And I've already read previews for the next issue, and we were introduced to even more characters that Mark Miller created, like literally 15 years ago, that we haven't seen since.
Yep.
So I'm sure this is going to be the method with how some of these characters may be brought back. Because look, I mean, he's killed off a majority of his characters, and you can't cause this much damage without bringing them back.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm loving about this is, one, I think Mark Miller is probably at his peak in writing comics. I just
Absolutely.
feel like the past couple of books he's had, and even this one, he has just been knocking it out of the park. And it's nice when you have a writer that's got such a distinct history with his books. And a lot of times you'll kind of catch on to writers and their trends. And even Miller in some way has some of those trends, but he's definitely kind of throwing you for a loop to the point, like you're not certain where he's going with it. And it's one of these things, like you're sitting here watching this being like, dude, you killed off so many of your own characters at this point. Like you've got to bring them back, right? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. He killed off a lot of the big stars of his books. It's like, no. This isn't. No, they're not dead. He's bringing them back. But
Yeah.
And I have a theory about Huck, because as far as I know, I don't think we're told or we know really who his family lineage or who his father really is. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I think I have an idea of who his father could be. But we'll see what happens, if my theory is right or not.
For sure. I think this is an absolute blast. Another thing that I love about this is kind of how unexpected it feels, because I feel like you had Miller coming in with his different books that he was putting out, these kind of like mini stories, these mini books on, or mini runs, I should say, and then brings this together, and maybe it was out there and I just wasn't as aware of, like, hey, we're bringing everything together for this one huge crossover kind of story. It's going to be balls to the wall and we're going to run this home. But I just love the excitement and energy of reading this book each month.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point, because I'm very, very curious myself. Just how many sites are really giving Mark Miller this much exposure or this much interest, like with his books. Because I know Rich Johnson isn't his biggest fan. I know Mark Miller isn't Rich Johnson's biggest fan either, but I don't really know if I don't know if any of these other review sites are talking about it at all. And I think if they aren't, that this is a big damn shame.
Yeah, I mean, we've had conversations on other channels about review sites and kind of what they bring to the table, and unfortunately it's not quality. And a lot of them right now are just writing us shills for the big two. And as we're seeing with Jim and the Weird Science team, even Gabe to a degree with Comical Opinions, if you're not over here praising the hell out of books, if you're being honest and saying what is or isn't working, they're cutting people off. They're saying, yep, we're not going to send you review copies anymore, because
I couldn't believe that. That is nuts. They did that to Jim. That was shocking.
When I was writing for Batman News, we experienced that once or twice when things got a little rough, and I was more of the blatant person of being brash on the team at the time. Because like back then we actually had people that were professional writers, had a history of writing. It wasn't people coming in kind of being like, oh, I want to I like comic books. I want to come write about them. We had people that their careers were legitimately in media and writing. So we were doing these reviews, and I was the one person that probably crossed the line back then more so than most quote unquote critics would. And there were a couple of times that they kind of were like, "Hey, you know, if we're gonna be like this, we might have to pull the reviews." So they've always kind of been like that. But the fact that they actually did it with them, I think, is pretty shitty.
Yeah.
So
Especially
DC.
when you need as much feedback as you can get.
Oh
know,
God, I mean,
it's shocking.
Yep. Right now, it's the comic review industry right now is just an echo chamber. There are a lot of sites that have mandates that the reviewers cannot give a lower score than a 7 out of 10 because they want to please the publishers. So you've got all these like garbage books out there right now, and they're getting 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 just because those sites want to keep their review copies. And it's a sad place to put the industry in if you can't find honest reviews. And that's not saying that everyone has to love or everyone has to hate something. But if you can't rely on honest reviews, then you're not going to find a critic that jives with your personality or has similar tastes as you to be able to know, should I spend my money on this or not? And I think that is also, I mean, aside from the fact that a lot of comics are shit these days, I think that's part of the reason too. People don't try new things because they don't feel like they can trust another opinion that's out there. So hopefully you have channels like this, especially channels like Thinking Critical with Wes, Drew, you and Max. Every Friday, y'all go through books. You're getting real, honest opinions. So if you are looking for a source that gives that kind of content, there's two examples other than myself right there because I'm not as focused on comics. But Max with Max on Priestley MVP, Comics Elite, they kind of rotate each Friday. And then Thinking Critical, like Wes is constantly just plugging videos out. So
yeah, and I'm on there every Saturday afternoon, evening, talking the best of the week with Wes.
Hell yeah.
Because we, like I said, we read them, and I like to think that we're pretty consistent across the board with how we review things.
Absolutely. John Porton says anything about Mark Millar is pretty much a solid guarantee to be a solid book. Yeah, I completely agree, man. Some of his stuff from
if no one read it, I forget the name of the title right now, but it was the one where the British spy, the older guy who's dying, and it's him just pretty much just going on one last mission. He did it like 2 years ago. I forget the name of it. It's King of Spies. King of Spies.
Yep.
So damn good. That was like, to me, I saw that as like his big comeback to comics.
I was about to say that was like his comeback to comics because I remember he was kind of talking about it, and it was like under the radar too. Like it was very like there was some buzz when he first announced it, and then by the time it had come out, like the buzz had kind of faded off. But then it came out, and actually you got a copy like a month in advance, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember you're like, dude, y'all got to read this fucking book. And I think in certain circles,
it was crazy. Yeah. What was even stranger, it was from not sure if it's his wife, his daughter, or whatever, who works at Netflix. They sent us a PDF. Hey, we know you're one of the big reviewers. You know, we'd love it if you guys reviewed it and put it out there and everything. Just try not to talk about the major plot points. It's like, okay, all right, that's what here we go. And we read it. We're like, what the fuck is this? This is nuts. And yeah, we couldn't believe it. And we encouraged everyone to pick this up. But it's indie books are so strange anymore. It's like one thing that perplexes me, Josh, is how someone like Mark Millar, a seasoned vet, a truly talented, gifted book mover and seller and creator, he at times he doesn't seem to get as much traction as, say, a James Tynion, who will, who I mean, look, I will say I respect him as an individual, as a creator, but I don't think he is as talented or as great as the numbers reflect, or compared to Mark Millar. And the fact that some of his books outsell Mark's is a crime, is wrong. But in my opinion, but I don't get that. I really don't. How he could probably be able to move more books than a Mark Millar.
Yep. James Tynion is one of those writers for me. And then when I was reviewing his stuff while working for Batman News, I always kind of described it as He comes up with really good ideas, but his execution is never completely there. And then, especially towards the end of time that he had with DC, he kept doing what I was calling writing around the story. He was writing all the stuff that was going on, and what your core plot was, he was just kind of like excluding, and there was conversations about what happened, and then you got to the end and would have a climax that you didn't really get any build for. But yeah, I agree. Just on a technical level, I don't think Tynion is. I would typically say I don't think Tynion is that good. I do think there are books like Something's Killing the Children that I think it's probably the best thing he's done. But even then, I wouldn't say it's incredible. I think it was good. I enjoyed the read. I think there's potential there, but I think a lot of times he has solid stories with okay execution at best. John Porton's throwing out some recommendations here. One of the things he mentioned was Conan the Barbarian has also been a pleasant surprise. We talked about that earlier, so if you missed it, definitely go back. We were praising the hell out of that book. And then he said he also enjoyed Ancient Enemies by the great Dan DiDio. I have not read that, so
it was for me. It was a bit of a struggle to really understand what the story was going on. I had a hard time getting through that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was one of the people that was ready for Dan to leave DC before it happened, and now that he's gone, like, dear God, I want him back so bad. Like, I will take that era of DC over everything we're getting right now for the most part, aside from pretty much Mark Waid. Oh man. And then he also followed up with, none of the review sites are any good these days. I miss the Skippets and Mez. Hey, Skippets and Mez. Weekly shows a ton. Master Raiders are a rare breed these days. Indeed.
Speaking, it's like I just, it's amazing the amount of people who actually did watch those reviews. I mean, it just not just the creators too.
Oh,
which
yeah,
really shocked me. Like I'll never forget. Like the one anecdote I have is Humberto Ramos and his manager. They watched the channel, and they remember one time I was at a convention. I think it was Dallas Fan Expo like 2 years ago, and they look at me and they're like, he points at me, the manager. He's like, "You have not reviewed Strange Academy once, not once." And Humberto stops drawing. He looks up at me and just shakes his head like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah." I told him, "Hey, I was like, we're not big Scotty Young fans. It just his stories we're not crazy on." He's like, "Do me a favor." He's like, "Check out the next few issues. Just give him a read. I think you'll enjoy them. Just give him a shot. I think you'll." And like, all right. I was like, "All right, see what happens." And sure enough, yeah, we loved it.
Yeah. I think I had that same kind of feeling with writing reviews. When you discover the people that read your reviews or tune in and consistently tune in, and that they tune in regularly based on what they say. But I know for me, the first like holy shit moment I had was when Kyle Higgins was writing Nightwing. He reached out to Andrew, who was leading our comics division at the time, and he was like, "Hey, I don't want to like put y'all in a weird position, but would you mind if I start sending y'all scripts to get feedback?"
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and this was kind of going into the like the Court of Owls arc that was starting to branch out into the Batman team. So we started getting his scripts before they were even going to the editors, just to kind of get feedback and then send it to the editors. And then that's why we had Jay start writing those reviews, because for us, it was just one of those things of like, we were so hyper detailed in what we were doing. And at the time we had such a good relationship with DC that they had provided us pretty much their entire back issue catalog through like a web portal. So whenever we knew certain characters were coming out or certain stories were going in, we would get like a little list of like, these are the history. This is kind of where these stories are pulling from. If you want to do some research, like they actually supported review sites giving quality reviews and having an understanding of the history that kind of led up to these moments. But yeah, we got stuff from him. Juan Ferreira is probably one of the artists that I partnered with the most on stuff. Like we were hearing from him constantly, but it's nice to know that there are creators out there that appreciate, even if it's not the best commentary on their work. They appreciate hearing a critical voice. And that's another reason I think it's sad that we live in this world where the writers and artists are all in this echo chamber of identity politics is what's important in our stories today. And I'm not saying that those elements are not important and that they don't have their place, but that shouldn't be the basis of what makes a story good. That's my little soapbox. How about that? Abomination AJ said Something Killing the Children has been recommended to me at my local shop. It's a solid book, AJ. I mean, like, you're definitely not going to go wrong.
And look, I tried reading the first 6 issues twice. I could not get through it twice. And honestly, the minute I saw James Tynan's self-insert character, the fat, overweight kid with the black hair and the bat on the shirt, I'm like, seriously, guy, come on, really? I could that was just the icing on the cake, and I, along with the other things with the comics I had problems with, it wasn't for me.
Yeah. John Porton's coming back in with you guys saved me from some very shifty books. Laugh out loud. I salute you and still hope to see Kyle. And then he corrected himself. Shifty, laugh out loud. You know what I actually meant. Yes, we know you mean shitty. Yeah. All I know is that if I ever saw Drew or Kyle ripping a book up, I was like, yep, not picking that one up.
Yeah. And honestly, these past few weeks, forget who was it, Mark McGrath, his picks, we thought that we were going to be the top 5. All those would have been rips. Those would have been solid rips. All of them.
God. Yeah. I don't even want to think about those books. Look, even Hot Girl alone, Hot Girl on its own, I'm kind of stuck on it being like, no, why would you? Why would you? I think I missed this comment earlier because I was actually going back to try to find Mark's comment with his list of books. But I think Mark is onto something because you've said this twice in the stream. But Drew, you need that should be a t-shirt. Dolan says, "Fix yourself."
Yeah, it's one. I said it often. It's one thing I learned a phrase I used in the military, and it's a phrase I use now, and a phrase I use it on every Saturday with Wes. And I tell people, hey, if you're not reading this, fix yourself.
Fix yourself.
Read this.
If you needed a refresher on the books that Mark recommended, it was Wonder Woman, Hot Girl, Fire and Ice in Smallville, Gotham War, and Power Girl.
And what's funny about that, Gotham War, you really think about that. In theory, that should not be on that list. But
it shouldn't.
Yeah, it's been executed so shittily, and the fact that how Chip and Teeny are presenting the story, I know for a fact they want us to believe that Batman is the bad guy in this story.
Yeah.
And that Catwoman, Nightwing, and everyone else, they are the good guys in the story. And it's like, if you have a strong, good, average moral compass that even, diverts slightly, off north, you'll understand what they're doing here is stupid and wrong. No, you're not going to make me think Batman's the bad guy here. What he's doing, his reasoning, no, this all makes sense.
Yep. Completely agree. Ian Miller, what's up, Ian? If they had Robert Venditti writing Hawk Woman, I'd buy that in a heartbeat. 100%. And if you haven't read Robert Venditti's Hawkman, I think it was 16 issues, 18 issues, somewhere around in there. Definitely worth it.
Yeah. Or it's Superman 78 he did was amazing.
And coming back too.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Super excited for that. Not so excited about the Batman. What was it? 89, 88, whatever.
Yeah. I got a strong idea where that story is going to head, but we'll see what happens.
Where do you think it's going to head, Drew? Where do you think it's going?
Well, the story opens up with Batman missing, Bruce Wayne missing. And I really believe that we're going to discover that Bruce has given up, his money, Wayne Manor, and he's just kind of living like necessarily destitute, but like he saw himself in the errors of his ways, his white overprivilege, and what he was doing to underprivileged minorities, beating them up, that he could no longer be Batman. I strongly believe we're going to get that message in this Batman follow up.
I mean, they heavily hinted that in the previous one. I mean, like
Oh.
they laid that groundwork with a very heavy hand. So I would.
Oh
not,
yeah, with
I would not
Robin
be
lecturing him on it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Oh God, even the mob scenes. Remember the mob scenes? You've got all the people out there. Like it was not great. It was.
Yeah, it was like an early version of BLM. They were having going on in the
Yeah.
streets. And like
Very much so.
it's one of those things where when you're reading this, you're saying to yourself, "There's no way this was the original script for a Batman Returns or post Batman. This is not right. No, this did not exist.
No, it would have been so out of place for its time too. Just no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eric Breen, I guess for some reason I didn't realize he got all the way to 29 issues for Hawkman, but yeah. Venditti's run outstanding. Nobody read it, and that is a shame because everyone should have been reading it, and DC should have been promoting it. That's part of the problem.
Yeah, especially those early issues. You had Brian Hitch on several of those early issues. It's amazing.
I think they promoted it slightly before it came out, and then once it actually started hitting shelves, like you never saw any type of promotion for it. And at the time,
it's unfortunate because it was up against Dark Knight's Death Metal and Year of the Villain and whatever shitty event going on at that time.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that had no payoff and was not very good. Some of the Dark Knight. Oh no, Death Metal was terrible. Never mind. I was thinking of the Dark Multiverse that came later. Death Metal was fucking god awful.
I didn't try reading it. I remember thinking the original Dark Knights series and just trying to understand it, and I'm just like, no, this does not work for me. I can't do this.
Yeah. And as far as Year of the Villain goes, you didn't enjoy Cecil Castellucci writing Batgirl with a third attempt of making an evil Oracle.
The minute she turned in her, I think she was the one who did her the fatal, like the female Furies, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
which was terrible.
The minute I read that first issue, that was one I literally, even before we were doing the reviews, I ripped that into pieces.
I think
Sean looked at me like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, "No, I did you a favor, Sean. No, we're not letting anyone pick this up."
I think that book was for that year. I think I'd put that as one of the worst books of the year. It was that bad. I hated her Batgirl. I think her Batgirl run is almost what made Breen want to rage quit reading DC Comics. But her Female Furies was by far worse than that, if it's even possible. We're going to run through a few of these comments. John Porton, I think I will skip Superman 69. I just don't trust it. I haven't been reading.
Superman
I don't
69.
trust. Do you mean 78?
Yeah. If you mean Superman 78, no, don't skip it, man. No, you will enjoy it. Absolutely. I 100% guarantee you will enjoy that. That is 100% pure Superman at its core.
Yeah. To me, that was fun. Incredibly well written. Felt like it belonged in that same universe that shit. Why can't I think of his name? I'm going blank on the actor's
the Christopher,
name.
the Donnerverse.
Yeah.
You wanted it.
Yep.
Yeah. What was so cool, I'll never forget
Reeve.
when we met Robert Venditti at MegaCon, I think 3 years ago. He showed us, before it came out, the interior art for issues 1 and 2 on his laptop for Superman 78, and we were just blown away by what he was going to do, and it did not disappoint at all.
Nice. Mark McGrath knows how we're going to save comics here. So can we get Megan Fitzmartin and Jadzia Axelrod co-writing the next big event with Riley Rossmo on art? It will save comics.
I'm sold.
Yeah, I mean, what we really need to do though is throw in Mags, and we're gonna have trans Superboy giving birth, and it's gonna start a new society. That's what the event will be.
And then T. Franklin will write all the tie-ins.
Oh God, we're going to hell. And you know what's sad? If you were to rewind 5 to 10 years ago, these ideas would be absurd, but even though we're being absurd talking about them, I'm sitting going like, fuck, this could actually happen.
Yeah, I'm a big South Park fan, and there was a great episode like 10 years ago called Sarcastaball, where Randy was just kind of making these sarcastic comments about the NFL, like, "Oh yeah, you should do this. Oh yeah, they should do that." And sure enough, NFL adopted these in the episode of South Park, adopted these stupid things for the games, and it's like, yeah, this is turning into Sarcastaball right now. Just how sarcastic we are. Like, oh yeah, do get Cecil Castellucci and T. Franklin to do this. They're so great. And sure enough, that's probably going to happen.
Probably. Ian mentioned Perch had said that DC actually gave Hawkman 6 extra issues when they would have canceled it earlier for sales because of fan love. Good on them completely. I definitely think they could stand to do that a little more often. And I mean, maybe it's a fleeting hope, but I do have a hope that audiences will continue to stumble onto that run and kind of keep it alive. I don't think it's ever going to be like a barn burner in terms of sales, but even if it has a consistent, just like life cycle that's out there, it's going to end up paying for itself and then some. Another book that was like that was actually Gotham Central. Gotham Central did not sell well as far as its sales goes. And DC just kind of felt that they had such a good quality book that they wanted to keep it running for as long as they could. And that's why we have what we managed to get for it to make an omnibus. But yeah, definitely some good stuff there.
Yeah, that was Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka, I think, did that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hawkman was getting promotion until Bendis came all over everything. Yeah. Oh man.
As soon as that double paged ad showed up in that very first comic, that was doom upon DC.
Yeah, Bendis is, and that man. I think that Man of Steel. I think I didn't like the Man of Steel mini, and I felt, oh, okay, I remember now. The Man of Steel mini I did not like. Superman I thought was okay, and then Action Comics I liked really well for a hot second when they were setting up the what was that first event that he did where the villain ended up being Manhunter?
Oh, was it Leviathan?
Yes, the Rise of Leviathan. Setup was awesome, and then the story happened, and it was total shit.
Then it went nowhere. Then DC said, "You know what? Hey, Brian, we're just gonna take this off your plate. Don't worry about finishing this. All right?
Yeah.
So no one else cares. All right.
We don't want this sticking around for the next 20 years. So, but hey, I'm pretty sure that's when DiDio was still there to actually make some decisions and say no one way or another.
Yeah. And I'm sure that Hawkman decision was probably one of his.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, but those aren't happening anymore, unfortunately.
Castellucci's Female Furies, Darkseid wants to mind control everyone, but the real evil was he's sexist. Yeah, that book was such a steaming pile of what.
But she loved the Handmaid's Tale, and she wanted to make Apocalypse the Handmaid's Tale.
No, there's just a time and a place for everything, and that is not the time or the place. Just no. It's just like Fire and Ice. We loved Schitt's Creek. We wanted to make a superhero version of Schitt's Creek. Look, I love Schitt's Creek too, but I don't want it in a freaking superhero comic.
Yeah, I don't want it in Fire and Ice. Yeah,
by writers that are like a fraction of have a fraction of the competency or talent as the people that wrote Schitt's Creek. John Porton, DC is proof of what happens when you implement diversity hiring requirements and champion virtue signaling over basic quality of sort of. Yeah, I mean, look, we're seeing that in film. We're not going to get to it today. We're going to have a topic just because it's already getting late. But one of the topics is we're going to kind of address the fact that the strike's over, writers are back in Hollywood, all that stuff, and they have not learned their lesson. They're going right back to the shit that was causing films and TV shows to bomb. And in a lot of ways, comics aren't learning their lesson either. They're going right back to these same tropes, right back to these story tactics, and it's not delivering. Like, you've got to shake it up. And I'm afraid that we're going to keep going down this path when it's too late for many of these companies. And that's going to be an interesting thing to see and an interesting world to live in. Eric Breen, Batgirl number 50 or Lois Lane number 1, tough call for worst. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. Look, he hasn't even gotten to hot girl number 2 or 3. You know, I feel like Eric needs to just bite the bullet so he knows what we're going through.
You know,
Uh,
and another one, another one that was so bad, I remember was that it was the one that T. Franklin wrote about is the handicapped spider person,
Oh.
Spider Girl.
God, yeah.
I think it was like an Edge of Spider-Verse maybe
Yep.
comic. I forget,
It
but
was one of those.
yeah, I just remember reading it. It was so bad, and just having to give it to Sean. Like, Sean, you need to read this. This is so fucking bad. And
It was
he couldn't believe it. It just nothing made sense about that damn comic. And
it was bad, and then the commentary around it was even worse. Between her coming out and being like, "This character I created, this character I did this, this is what,"
yeah.
and then I was like, "Well, you didn't create this character, you didn't do this. This is already implied." And then like, "No, I always gave credit to this person for." Oh man, it was so bad. Like you got caught.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, you can't when it comes to creator rights and everything. No, you can't weasel your way out of this one.
Okay, so John Porton said, "Has anyone else taken a look at Vicious Circle with art by Lee Bermejo? I really haven't seen anyone review it. I thought the interiors were really something. I'm an idiot, so I probably missed it. So I own 2 issues of this. I have not read them yet. I'm a huge Lee Bermejo fan. I know there are a lot of people that do not like him. He's probably
Really?
one of my favorite. Yeah, there's a lot of people that they don't care for his art style, or they like him."
Wow.
But I've heard a lot of people say, I don't like him on interiors. I'd rather have him as a cover artist.
I could honestly, I I don't know about that. Yeah, I would. Honestly, he's like a Ricardo Federici. I would love to have him on covers and interiors. Like he's like a Neil Adams, Ricardo Federici, Jason Fabok. I want them on covers and interiors.
Also, if you ever get a chance to see him at a Comic-Con, go talk to him. He is by far one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. He welcomes you. He usually has a chair sitting on the fan side of the table, so you can just come sit down and actually have a conversation with him. But like one of the most gracious artists in comics, for as good as I think he is, because I think he's going to end up having legendary status because of his style is so unique. If you see his art, you know it's his art. There is no question. There is no, this looks like Lee Bermejo. Like you see Lee Bermejo art, you know it's Lee Bermejo art.
Yeah, I remember I loved his take on Batman, just how his costume of Batman, how he made it look, just how his practicality of the Batman outfit. That's what I liked about it.
There was so typically at San Diego Comic-Con every year, there's typically like a DC will have like an artist panel, and they'll have some of their kind of hot artists up there, and they'll be talking and drawing. And I remember one of the years it was he was up there. Jorge Jimenez was up there because they knew they were about to like take off with Jorge, but I think at the time Jorge was only doing Earth 2 and about to start Super Sons. But I remember when Lee was drawing, he kind of draws his negative space first, and then the image will come together because he's so heavy with inks that I remember he was drawing and they had the projection on it, and he's talking and drawing, and you could see people looking at it just being like, what the fuck is this guy drawing? It's like a big blob with random lines in random places, a big like black blob. And then you didn't realize it, but it was just like kind of turned sideways. And then as you started kind of pulling it together, you saw that it was like the cowl of Batman, and you had all this, but it's just, he's so freaking fantastic. So
absolutely. Yeah, he is. And him and Ricardo Federici, I think, are the 2 big all-stars at DC right now that they should be on interiors and covers.
Yep. Breen, read them for me, will you, Josh? Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Okay. So Breen, since you're going to be here, since you're going to be here next week, we'll give you some cliff notes, and we'll show you a few panels. How about that? Ivan Sanchez says, what I seen from folks said that the writers are the true losers here. The studios will be more demanding on the quality of the. I mean. Yeah, I think the thing that you're going to see with studios and even publishers at this point, like DC and Marvel cannot get good quality writers to come in because of the shit that they put them through. And you know, you're going to have that mixed bag of, hey, there's going to be quality writers in Hollywood that aren't going to come back to work with certain studios because of how they were treated. So, you know, I think both sides kind of shot themselves in the foot, and now we're going to have to live with the consequences. And I think a lot of your kind of smaller indie studios, you're gonna have to watch for to see some quality projects, or some of your mid tier ones that don't get a lot of love. I think you're gonna see some decent films and shows come out of.
Yeah, it's amazing. We remember like how many, I mean, 100 to $200 million budgeted films were being made the last several years, but now, I mean, I honestly wonder how many more we're going to see anymore. I don't see many of those being made anymore, but we'll see what happens.
Mark seems to think I only like Lee Bermejo because I like that he draws Bat Dog. I mean, look, I may or may not have 3 copies of Batman Damned. Just saying. Do you have a copy of Batman Damned, Drew?
I used to. I got rid of it because I mean it's magazine size, and you hate lugging around that shit.
Dude.
And yeah,
I hate.
I think
storing
Kyle
those
does.
suckers.
Kyle's got a double signed Azzarello and I think Frank Miller. Not Frank Miller. Sorry, Azzarello and Jim Lee signed.
Yeah, the book itself is not the greatest. It's pretty crappy, but again, good art. So, it's a time travel story. The overall art style changes for each period. It's pretty wild stuff. Okay, is that the Bermejo book? Yeah, Vicious Circle. I'll need to go look at it. I remember seeing it and thinking it looked interesting. I know it's Matt Tomlinson. Is it Matthew Tomlinson? Matt Tomlinson, something like that. The guy that wrote the Batman and then wrote Batman Imposter is the writer for this with Lee Bermejo on art. So
I may be wrong, but I think I want to say I did. I think Kyle and I did read it. I want to say, I could be wrong, but I think there were some like racial elements in this. You know, I think that really turned us off from this book, and it's like, okay, we're checked out, and it's just, it felt like easy points. You know, easy bat packing points for this type of story.
Gotcha. Well, we are already kind of getting close to creeping on that 10 o'clock mark. And I told Drew, like, hey, we're only going to go till 9:30 tonight because I lie every freaking week. So I do want to go ahead and kind of wrap this up a little bit. Drew, before we wrap things up, is there anything else you want to say? Comics? Was there a comic book that you think is good right now that you didn't include in your list, but people might possibly should check out?
I will say this week, at least, if you haven't picked it up, do pick up Transformers. You guys will love it. I read it last night. I loved every second of it. The art, the story, the dialogue, the pacing, it's all top notch. It is what we all want and expect in a Transformers comic. And if you're like me and you've been waiting for the right Transformers comic to come along after all the crap we've gotten from IDW and the hacks that produced their whatever it was from IDW, this is the palate cleanser. This is what you want. You will not be disappointed. Do check out Transformers #1, guys.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of kind of underlying buzz with this, so I'm excited to get my hands on it, and I'm happy to hear you liked it, because nothing was going to make me more sad than it coming out and everyone being like, "Yeah, it's alright." So, and also, I feel like I have to show this off again, but
thank you.
Is there an ETA on a potential Kickstarter program? Or
Yep. So it's actually you can sign up right now on Kickstarter. Just type in Unholy Nightmare. You can sign up right now to be notified when we go live. It should be Halloween night. We are planning to launch on Halloween. We're going to have planning on having 6 of the interior pages done to present on the Kickstarter. We have 1 of which is already done, so we got 5 to go. We're waiting for the colorist to get back with us. Then he can knock some of these out and get the letter working on those afterwards. But yeah, Halloween, stay tuned. Unholy Nightmare #1. Please be there. You guys do not want to miss out. Literally, everyone I've shown like the scripts to, the plot synopsis, like where we want to go with the stories and like the second arcs, people they're loving it. They're digging it. And when they see this art, they get even more excited. And I really, truly think there's something special here. And I wouldn't be doing this or excited for it if I wasn't confident in it. And I really think you guys will enjoy this.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Like I've said multiple times, even on the stream, I love kind of hearing the updates and seeing where you're going. I love the thought that you're putting into this. One of my complaints when reviewing comics was a lot of the writers didn't work their scripts, and I like that you're kind of really working through these scenarios. You're thinking these characters through. You're thinking their scenarios through. And it's one of those things where I'm just looking forward to getting my hands on the final product so I can just enjoy it and take it all in. So for sure, if Halloween is the night we're shooting for, you guys make sure you get ready to go support that and back that book. That needs to be a show. That needs to be one of my shows. Back that book. # back that book, and have like a big booty as like the image or something. A covered booty, not a scantily clad booty, but Drew, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook. It's Dolan Waddick, and you can find me on Instagram. It's Dolan_Waddick. I'm often posting new pages, cover art, little trailers and videos I'm making for the comic for Kickstarter, posting reviews I'm giving for other books. You'll and that's all you're going to get from me. It's comics, nothing else.
Absolutely. John Porton just kind of came in with one more note on that book. He said, just give it a shot. I thought the art was spectacular. It wasn't woke. I had my woke warning sensors turned up to 11. I promise. So noted. And then he also put socialists make me itchy. that needs to be a phrase on a like sweater. As far as the artwork, Ivan Sanchez, I like to see that. Love and fire. And then John Porton, congratulations, Drew. It looks great. Yeah, I seriously super stoked to get my hands on that when it does finally land and come out. And I'm saying finally, like it's been forever. It's just I've clearly been hearing about it longer than Drew's also been talking about it publicly. So
the funny thing is we've only been working on it since I think March or April. I got to go back and look at and Aurelio just pitched it to me, just like, hey, he's got these characters. I think we should do this. And I'm thinking to myself, don't commit. Don't commit.
Yeah.
You got a full plate right now. And the more we started talking about the plot, the characters, and I'm like, damn it, I got something here. There's something I got an idea. And I was like, all right, I'm in. And before I knew it, I just wrote a first draft and we were off to the races.
Absolutely. As for me, if you want to find me, I don't know why you'd want to, but if you maybe you want to because you want to chastise me for posting a picture of a man getting fisted on Twitter, hey, so be it. I didn't do it in support. Calm down. But no, you can find me at Joshua L. McDonald on Twitter. You can also find me at ByPopped. Of course, we are here. I started to say every Tuesday. Sometimes life gets in the way, but we are typically here every Tuesday. A lot of times you can find me on Saturdays with Wes on Thinking Critical, Sundays with Max on Max's Man Cave. And I'm spending most of my Thursdays with Roman of the Empire. Tomorrow night, I will be with Zax on his channel for What's Good Wednesday. Again, I'm going to make it all about me and my birthday.
It's all about me.
No, it's all about me. No, we're actually going to be talking about movies that we love that weren't necessarily critical successes, box office successes. So nice. I think that's still the plan anyways. I owe Zax a movie though. So I've had a freaking week plus and I still haven't given him anything because that's, as we discussed at the beginning of the stream, when I promoted Drew without having his photos ready, I'm such a terrific friend. But yeah, so you can find me those places and stay tuned. I know I keep saying this. There's plenty in the pipeline that's coming. We are just finagling schedules, which seems to be the hardest. It's like herding cats, but it will happen. And next week, we're going to have Joe Corallo and Breen, and I'm going to schmooze them about doing a monthly series with me. It won't be live. It'll be pre-recorded. But they have such a wealth of knowledge of comic history that they are the two guys that I need for this series. So I'm gonna sweet talk them a little bit, and I'm gonna tell Eric Breen how pretty he is and how young he looks, and see if I get any brownie points. But yes, other than that, you guys have a good night. And after the stream is finished, if you read comics for the month, once the stream is over, go into the comment section, put your top 5 comics for the month, and share what you're loving. All right, guys, y'all have a good night, and I will talk to y'all soon. When is Zax going to be on here? Zax has been on here, but Wednesday nights are a little hard for him sometimes. So, it's when I like him best though, is when he's a little hard. What? Oh, I don't. Oh, let's end this. All right. Good night, guys.